Hope you all are doing great. Today in this session, I would tell you that how and what are the reasons that why the WordPress websites gets hacked, right? From the hackers point side. So let us start. Basically, WordPress is a CMS, content management system, which requires proper attention and care from the user's perspective as well as from the administration side, right? So for these, controlling your website as per the roles you will assign to the users at the time of web browsing from the third party resources or from users login for, let's say, if there's an author role or if there is a content manager role or if there is an administration role, right? So there are multiple kind of roles assigned in WordPress systems, so there are various aspects and loopholes we need to care while creating a website in WordPress. So let us start one by one. The number one reason that a website gets hacked is, like, I'm just scrolling because this channel belongs to Digital Web Ninja, which is a web marketing and web design service provider based in India. So I'm just telling you that ways you need to care while creating your website. So the most common reason for getting a website hacked is insecure web hosting, right? insecure insecure web hosting. So when I say insecure web hosting as number one reason that you get your website hacked, right? You from the hacker's side. So what does it mean basically when I say that if you are hosting your website on any host which is coming, which is not reputed, even, or I could say that a web hosting service provider which is not always having up to the mark availability, even though if he is having if a user who's hosting his website on unsecure web server, that means a web server which is prone to get hacked, right? So anybody who is doing kind of hacking kind of activities by some code SQL injections or any other mechanism, right? He can get your website accessed, right? He can get its access. So like all websites, WordPress sites are hosted on a web server. So some hosting companies do not properly secure their hosting platform. This makes all websites hosted on their servers vulnerable, right, for hacking attempt. So when I say that how you could yourself be secured in this particular instance, right? So in such a way, you could make your website secured by hosting it to the WordPress hosting itself, right? So WordPress provides its hosting services apart from their uh, like so many plugins and all. Apart from that, WordPress itself provides its secure hosting for its for hosting its own. So you should keep on priority to WordPress based hosting for your website, which is built in WordPress. Number one, for the security reasons, right? So if you want like extra precaution, then you can just go for managed WordPress hosting, right? So just go with that. Another side, there are a lot of hosting servers which are available, and they are providing intense security to the platforms. So you can go to a secure web host provider for hosting your website. This is the first requirement to get your website secured. Even many host providers protect other intrusions and hacking attacks from viruses and all. So you have to have like a secure web hosting. First thing, first requirement, right? Number two reason for a WordPress website which are getting hacked is if you are using weak password, right? Using weak passwords, we recommend you to keep your password uh, very secure and very strong. If you want to keep your website secure, you must have a very strong password, so that nobody could, get an access by uh, some sort of, if you have so stored websites on your browsers and you have used a common password multiple times, then there are huge chances to get it hacked, right? Because it is always advised, from the WordPress side itself, that you must utilize those power of like alphanumeric, caps, and a combination string, so that you could have a strong possibility to get it, secured, right, from the hacking attacks. Number third reason, which is obviously, I'm telling you that, if you are using some sort of, unprotected and like access roles, right? I'm writing here access roles management. Make sure that you are providing the access roles to the concerned parties, right? Let's say if you are having a subscriber role and you are assigning him a content management role, or making some sort of, loopholes in terms of providing the access to your user, front end user, then there are huge chances that your website get hacked. So keep this in mind, that you can keep like your role management in secure way, right? So basically, WordPress admin area gives you an access platform in different actions to make different, roles play from the front user point of view, and also it's a commonly attacked area of WordPress site, right? At the same time, you are having lots of facilities, but at the same time, you are having lots of chances to get it attacked. So leaving it unprotected, like, allows hackers to try different mechanisms to crack your website. So don't do that. Please stay like, focus on your authentication to WordPress admin directory, as well as role access management, right? So, okay, number four reason, which is very much obvious, and it is, uh, like I'm telling you, incorrect file permissions. Uh, I understand that if you are a developer, you'll definitely be getting this point, that while playing, like, storing your websites on web server, storing your websites on web server, your cPanel, you can adjust your, visibility and the permissions of your files, that which particular mode you want to give the access to the users, whether he could be able to edit, read, or write. Like in this way, you could control your permissions. The thing that which is very important while providing the permissions, like, while permissions, like a set of rules specifically used for the, web server. It is used by the web server, and permissions are allotted by the administrator to your, users, or stakeholders, whoever is visiting your website, right? Incorrect permissions can give hacker a chance to get it enter or intrude. So make sure you utilize the proper power of uh, file permissions, right? Now, the most common error or mistake web administrators make is not update their versions, right? Update WordPress on a regular basis, right? Every time a new version which is updated is reflected or flashed in your administration area, where you can just click to update the WordPress, right? Doing such thing help you to, excuse me, uh, doing such thing help you to keep your website more and more secure, because some sort of updates provided by the WordPress to keep all your files, server files, secure, right? And even they provide the better accessibility in terms of, particular feature, right? So keep your WordPress website updated on a regular basis whenever a new version of WordPress comes in, right? So now the next thing which is important, which is like, the same thing, like, if you, I'm just telling you that update WordPress, at the same time I would say update your plugins, right? If the page, if I should say, if the version of your updated version of your plugin is available your plugin provider side, then you should go and update your plugins to keep it functional and features ready, right? So it is very important to keep your plugins updated on a regular basis whenever the updates on particular plugin is available, right? Because just like we updated the WordPress core software, updating your theme and plugin is equally important, right? Because outdated plugin or theme can make your website vulnerable to attacks, right? So keep it secure, and any kind of security flaw or bugs if existing pre-installed version, then it could be sorted out in the updated version. So you have to keep it updated every time, whenever an update for WordPress is comes in, whenever an update for plugin comes in, whenever an update for theme comes in, right? So make sure you when you update the plugin, sorry, when you update the theme, you have a child theme ready, right? Because doing so can protect your website's changes, right? As it is. So keep it in mind, right? Now the thing is, which is very important again, uh, updating themes, plugins, and WordPress. Apart from these, what if you use admin? Like sometimes people use admin WordPress username, right? Let's say I'm telling you, make admin as user, right? So the what does it mean? Using admin as your WordPress username is not recommended at all, right? Because everybody knows that you have a default admin. He could use it, right, for accessing your WordPress. So we don't recommend to use admin as default user. Instead of that, use a username which is of your choice, right? And it is strongly recommended that you don't go for websites domain name as username, because it could be easily guessed, right? So just utilize a username which is of course for confined with you only, right? So this is very important. uh, Now, what else could be? Since these are the points, they've just notified that, and whenever will you see that there is a alert for malware or any kind of security related, just go and scan your website for better security, right? So keep your WordPress file WP config, I should say WP config intact. Config, one moment, WP config intact. What does it mean? When I say that you have to keep your WordPress configuration file intact, that means it has to be highly secure, because this is the only file which keeps your security data for access. So keep your file in a way that it is directly not indexable, or anything that you do, and any actions that make it vulnerable. So keep it, this particular file, very very secure, right? Okay, one more thing which is important for installing SSL, right? SSL is very important for making your website secure. So excuse me, it was a call. Okay, so I was telling you that installing a secure like SSL certificate is equally important to make all kind of transactions secure on your website, right? So keep your website secure using SSL, which is kind of HTTPS protocol, making your website more secure to access from the user's perspective. Now, as I discussed so many things with you guys, now keep one very important thing in mind, that for rock solid security, we use uh, every mechanism, every measures that make a WordPress website secure, but providing, provided that you keep your website's cache very clear every time, right? So keep it to keep it speedy and fast loading from the user side. So one more thing which is important, to keep your images and other files intact and in terms of storage, to make it in more accessible in a faster way, right? So there are so many mechanisms and activities. If you perform, you can make your website more and more flawless, fast, secured, right? I hope that this particular information helped you a lot. And if you like this particular video, please do share or subscribe our channel for further information and informative videos. Thank you, friends. Thank you for watching. Bye.